since our subject is RCC, so we have to study about the properties of the steel also. Then why we require steel? So that also I told in one of our discussion. See here it is written. This already you had got. Number one, to resist all the tensile stresses developed in the structures. So that we are told that the concrete is very good. Concrete is very good for completion, but its tensile stress is very less. It is all nearly 1/10. If strength of the concrete is 20 Newton per millimeter square, then with respect to tensile, its strength is 10 Newton per millimeter square. But in our structure, we cannot avoid tension. We cannot tension. Our column, column also called as compression member, or also it is called axial loaded member. But again, you will never get a column axially loaded member. Either the column load is acting eccentric with respect to longitudinal axis, or if there is a beam connected to the column and the beam and column junction is rigid. The load is acting on the beam, and since the load is acting beam and column and beam is rigidly connected, so it becomes a rigidly connected, it converts to a frame. The joint is rigid due to load acting on the beam. You had studied it. First we will consider that it is a fixed beam. So if it is fixed beam, then what is happening? There will be fixing moment at the both end, and there will be missing moment. Now this fixing moment, because of this fixing moment at the end, and since the end, beam end and column end is rigidly connected, so it becomes a rigid joint. So if it is a rigid joint, then the moment whatever acting on the beam, some will be transferred to the column also. So this you will learn in structural, or here, so probably here also you will be able to learn. There are some methods by which we will be able to transfer the bending moment that is acting on the beam end to be transferred to the column end. So ultimately what happened? The column is subjected to axial load and moment. Moment will acting either about x-axis or y-axis. X-axis mean either breadth-wise axis or either depth-wise axis. The column, if it is a rectangular column, there will be one larger dimension, one smaller dimension. Larger dimension is called depth-wise axis, and smaller dimension is called breadth-wise axis. Breadth-wise. So there will be two axes. About any one axis or with both the axes, the moment may exist. So when moment arises with respect to neutral axis, one part will be subjected to tension, another part will be subjected to compression. Now question is coming, the tension. In tension part, concrete will not be able to resist the tensile stress, so we have to provide the steel. Okay, so that is the thing, to resist all tensile stresses developed in the structure. Okay, the second point, to increase the strength of the concrete section. Okay, now some load is coming. If we want to resist whatever load is coming on the concrete, only with the help of concrete. See, the stress, yield stress or characteristic stress of concrete, say characteristic stress of concrete is 25 Newton per millimeter square in compression, right? And in tension, 2.5 Newton per millimeter square. And if you see, these things are written in IS 456. I told in our last discussion that you try to download IS 456. So after, because that code will be required in your not only in your class. This will be required if you want to be a design engineer throughout your lifetime. Okay, now see, but stress, characteristic stress of steel, both in tension as well as compression. Say if we want to say that steel is of Fe 415 or 15 grade. 415 grade means your yield stress, which is also called characteristic stress, is 415 Newton per millimeter square. CD comparison. Stress force, the stress that can be resisted by steel is 415 Newton per millimeter square, whereas stress resisted by concrete with respect to compression is 25 Newton per millimeter square. Now, when we assemble both these two, steel and concrete, definitely resisting capacity of the structure will be much more higher. Much more higher. So this sentence represents that to increase the strength of concrete section. Next, to prevent the propagation of crack due to temperature shrinkage. So this is a special thing due to rise of temperature, due to fall of temperature. Okay. Now this situation will not come in our normal area. In our normal area. Okay. Say here in Assam, maximum temperature rise is 40 degrees centigrade. And minimum it never comes. So, but if you go to Bomdila, Ladakh, the minimum temperature may be minus 50. So if temperature difference is so much there, then there will be effect in the concrete. Now, if you see the Young's modulus and thermal expansion, regarding thermal expansion, I am not mentioning here. You will see concrete is having less resistance than the steel. So because of the use of steel in concrete, the third point is also the prevent the progression of cracks due to temperature rise. Prevent the progression of cracks. Because of steel, because steel having the resisting capacity. Now that part is also available. You will be able to go through it in IS 56. Go through it. It is very easy to follow. To make this section thinner. This I have told you in point number 2 also. Since compressive stress of concrete is say for M25 is 25 Newton per meter square, then we will be required larger area to resist the compressive load. But if we together with concrete, we utilize some amount of steel. Since for steel, compressive resisting capacity with respect to compression and with respect to tension are same. Characteristic strength for characteristic strength or yield strength. 415, or if it is Fe 250, then 250, then if it is Fe 500, it is 500 Newton per millimeter square. So it's too much high. So it will help. Okay, so these things very simple. I gave you the explanation. To fulfill the above critical reinforcing materials should satisfy the following requirements. Now these above these 4 points we need for structural resisting point of view. Okay. Now if we require those things, then whatever steel we are going to utilize as a reinforcing material, it should have some own characteristics, some own properties. Some own properties. If those own properties are not available, just by using those reinforcing material, we may not get our goal. We may not get our required saying. Then what is that? The reinforcing material should develop perfect bond with concrete to transfer the stress from one material to another material. In strength of materials, you have studied the temperature stress. The temperature stress because of temperature rise. I told before also, because of temperature rise, all materials have a tendency to expand, and because of temperature fall, all materials has a tendency to contract. To contract. So what is saying? The reinforcing material should develop perfect bond. Now these two materials in our RCCD2 material, one material is steel and another material is concrete. So the steel should have the property of bonding with concrete. I am not taking concrete should have the property for bonding with steel. I am talking steel should have bonding capability with concrete. If proper bonding we cannot get, then the use of steel in concrete will be meaningless. That means the whatever force induced in concrete, the same force has to be transferred to the steel. That will be possible if they are bonding together and they behave just like one material. Do you follow? Anyone? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
If not, so say I am giving you example. I am giving you example. I think all of you uh, are non-vegetarian. All of you consume chicken, mutton. I hope so. If somebody not consume, can anyone say that I am not taking chicken or mutton or beef? You can see, you can talk because I am not, I am unable to look your face. Anyone? Anyone? That means all of you are consuming chicken, mutton, beef. If you see all of you see your hand. If you see in your hand inside, all of you agree? All of you agree? Bone is there. All of you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bone is.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. I hear you. On the circumference of the bone, what is there? On the circumference of the bone, what is there?
Muscles.
Flesh. Flesh part. Flesh. It is just like that. Flesh we can resemble with concrete, and bone we can resemble with steel. If there is no contact between flesh and bone, if they act independent, then your flesh will be contracted to a very small area, and strength of your hand will be zero. Okay, so this is the best example in your body. Okay, so we can go to next point. It should have high tensile strength. Now this represent high means it does not mean that exceptionally high. This high represents that the strength of the steel should be much higher than the concrete. Now see, when we are student, there are only one grade of steel, mild steel. Language was mild steel. Now that mild steel is designated in terms of alphabet and numerical. That is whichever we call in our textbook Fe 250. When we were student, our steel utilized was Fe250. But whatever concrete was there in our student life, same concrete is now continuing. Only thing, some higher grades of concrete are coming. That is the difference. Okay, so that represents that it should have high tensile strength. Okay, next, it should be comparatively cheaper, easily available, and durable. So this is the important thing. It should be comparatively cheaper. If why it should be cheaper? Because common people should have capability to purchase it. If it is not that way, if it is highly expensive, then common people will not purchase it. So under that situation, it will not be useful. If some materials is not useful for common people, then we cannot say that it is a good material. Then we cannot say it is a good material. Okay. So then what is said? Easily available and durable. This easily available. See, according to theoretical conception, the diameter of steel, medicine, start from 5 millimeter, 5 millimeter, 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter, 14 millimeter, 16 millimeter, 18 millimeter, 20 millimeter, 22 millimeter, 25 millimeter, 28 millimeter, 30 millimeter, 32 millimeter. All theoretically, all these are available. Okay, these are manufactured by the steel factories. But what I am talking here, easily available. But all this diameter of steel is not easily available at any place. Say you will be able to get at any place 5 millimeter diameter, 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter, 16 millimeter, 20 millimeter, 25 millimeter, 32 millimeter. Okay, these diameter rod are available at any place at any time, but others are not possible to get at any place at any time. We cannot say that it is impossible. If at all we require, then we'll have to place order to the manufacturing company. Only under that circumstances we'll be able to get. Okay. The coefficient of thermal expansion of reinforcing material should be nearly equal to same as that of the concrete. Thermal expansion. Coefficient of thermal expansion should be almost equal for both the material. Why? Anybody can imagine? Anybody? Thermal expansion is a coefficient of thermal expansion is expansion or change of volume with respect to temperature. So I told you that all materials, whether it is natural or man-made, the character is there. Due to rise of temperature, there will be expansion, and due to fall of temperature, there will be contraction. Now we are expecting that coefficient of thermal expansion for reinforcing material and concrete material or concrete should be almost equal. We cannot get exactly equal. Can you imagine why? Anyone?
So otherwise it will separate from each other. It will break apart from each other.
It will break. Yes, correct. Because there will be differential expansion. See, if steel has a tendency for expansion of 5 millimeter, the concrete is having expansion of 3 millimeter, so there is a differential expansion of 2 millimeter. So under that situation, what will happen? Steel has a tendency to pull concrete outward. Then concrete steel will pull outward. Again, other side, the concrete has a tendency to pull the steel inward. So there will be a fight. Huh? There will be a fight between steel and concrete in our RCC. So because of that fight, huh, they will not be loser. We will be loser. There will be failure of bond. There will be failure of bond between concrete and steel. So failure of bond occurs, then the concrete and steel together will not behave as RCC. They will behave as concrete and they will behave as concrete and steel. Then our purpose will not serve. Okay, it should workable. It should be workable, easily to cut, bend, and join. Now, steel in market, if you go, you will get the diameter I had already told and length. So length you will get up to 10 meter, up to 10 meter length. But this 10 meter length in our construction size will have to be transferred. Okay, so we will have to transfer. So what is it? It's workable. It should be workable. That means it should be easily transportable. Then easy to cut, because this 30 feet, that means 10 meter rod, we cannot utilize at a time. We will have to cut. Say in case of in our building, the height of the column normally maximum 4 meter, and length of the beam in our normal houses, length of is maximum 7 meter. Then we will have to cut. Now this cutting should be easier. If it becomes not easier, then there will be some other problems. So that's why it said. Then the rods, it will come in straight. It has to be bent for some purposes that I will talk later. Bend. That bending should be easy. That bending should be easy. When you try to bend it, it should be easily bended. It should not crack. There should not be any crack. If there is a crack, then it is not workable. Okay. And what is said? Lastly, what is said? And join. This joining. See, say if it is a multi-story column, say 2-story column. Or 2-story column, say 4 meter by 4 meter, 4 meter plus 4 meter, 8 meter. Yes, our rod is 10 meter. So one rod we can continue. But problem is that 10 meter rod to keep vertically, it is very difficult. First point. Second point, you are not going to construct the column for 2-story at a time. So that's why we'll have to cut it. We'll have to cut it. Okay, that's why it is said should be joint. There should be joint. Now, what type of joint, that we will study when we will go for shear design. Okay. So it should be free from loose, rust, and etc. On the body of the one rod, there should not be any loose material. There should, if these loose materials are there, when you are casting the concrete, these loose materials will mix with the concrete. So this some foreign material, additional materials are coming. So whatever proportions we had designed, that will be breakdown. So our strength, there is a first possibility of getting strength lower than whatever our target. So there should not be any list. And there should not be any rust. See, rod, whatever you are getting, you are purchasing from a shop and you are transporting to your work site. definitely on the same day when you have processed it, transported it from the godown to the shop, you are not going to eat it on the same day. It may lie the atmosphere for a number of days, and because of the atmospheric effect, there is a possibility of small rusting. Okay, so our condition there should not be any rust. So we should properly clear this rusting, because if this rusting means what is happening, this is the all. Rusting is a very bad character. Rusting is a very bad character. When it comes to atmospheric, the diameter of rod increases. That means some layer. And when it is inside the concrete, because of this, on concrete, some lateral force will be exerted, and because of that lateral force, there will be some horizontal crack in the concrete. Okay, horizontal crack or some crack perpendicular to the rock. Okay, so that we have to take care of. Okay, do you follow whatever I told you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anybody want to ask something? No.
No, sir.
Okay. Now, next point is coming, stability of steel as reinforcing material. Very simple. Just I will read, nothing to describe it. Steel is very strong in tension, compression, shear, torsion. This I already dictated. Concrete develops very good bond with steel. This I already dictated. Steel is very good ductile material. Now, what is ductile material? What is ductile material?
Materials which can be drawn into thin wires.
Into?
Thin wires.
What are you talking? I forgot your name.
Aneta.
The ductility example of ductility is very simple. It's very simple. Very simple. If you take a gamusa or a rumal, handkerchief, at the two opposite cuts at the two opposite ends, and pull it. After applying some force, beyond some force, the handkerchief has a tendency for disclosed, but it will gradually. That means if a material is pulled, applied pulling force or compressive force, if fracture occurs gradually, you are looking gradually, there is a fracture, there is a crack. That is the ductility. But in sometimes what happens, the crack opens and instantly it fails. Okay, so if the crack starts and instantly fails, that type of steel is not at all suitable for our RCC. Okay, because brittle. So the component, whatever is to be used for increasing strength, other one should have less brittle, or it should be ductile. If we go to algebraic, plus minus is equal to plus minus is equal to 0 or some resultant value. So steel should be ductile in nature. That means if you apply the axial force or bending force, it should gradually change its dimension, not instantly. So that type of steel is useful. Okay, so that will do. So this steel bars can be cut, bent, lifted, and welded with. So this I had discussed previously. Steel has longer life. Steel has longer life. Steel are easily available, but suitable for but not suitable for following character. Rusting, that I had discussed. Loss of stage at high temperature. At high temperature, the steel is having drawbacks. That means whatever its characteristic state we are getting in our laboratory, in our normal condition, same strength we cannot utilize. So if we want to design it, then we'll have to reduce the state. Say in our normal design, we will utilize for say Fe 415. The yield stage we will utilize 415. But in tropical region, where temperature is too high, because of the temperature, there is a possibility change of dimensions. Under that situation, we'll have to reduce the yield stage. So when we reduce the yield stage, that means we are going to increase the amount of steel required to maintain the weight. Okay, steel is graded. Okay, so these things you see, this is very simple. This you will get in your code. In your code, see Fe 250, it stays 250, percentage elongation 23, 415, 14.3, Fe 500, 12.3, 550, 8%, and TMT bar, there is something different, high strength thing and TMT bars, 500 is normally whatever we are. This is really applicable with respect to our structural design. So these are the material properties that you have learned. Now this design philosophy. Why we want to design it? See, there are two conditions. This condition I had told you also. So design means you are having a structure, planning a structure. Some load is going to act there. Now we require a member for which the length is already determined. Then that means we require some cross section size of the member, such that whatever load is coming, it will be able to stand. That means this whole thing we can stand. Design philosophy, first one is to resist the external load or with respect to strength. So what I written here, to decide the size, dimension of the member and the amount of reinforcement. Okay, to check whether the adopted section will perfectly perform safely and satisfactorily during the life. Okay, now these two basic philosophy: to find the dimension and the amount of reinforcement, and to check whether the amount of reinforcement and size is usable for its lifetime. Then come objective. So that is our requirement. Philosophy. That is our philosophy. Just example, you girl, then you are trying to find out. So nowadays this is common, all whether boy or girl, everybody utilize pen shirt. So you are trying to pursue the quality. When you are going to the market, when you are looking at, definitely each of you, all of you, when they show your clothes, say shirt or pen, you immediately catch it and you see the color and you try to pull it. This is the normal character of the procedure. So that when you are trying to pull it, means you are trying to find what is its strength. What is its strength? So that is the first point, to decide the size and member. The second point, to check the adopted section will perform safely. The chart, whatever with respect to strength, you got it. Now you will have to see whether it is perfectly adaptable. Now you have to see on your body whether it will useful with respect to your body. So these 2 points is exactly that. Then the objective. There are 3 objectives: strength, serviceability and stability. You can say S cube or 3 multiplied by S. That means when you are going to design the member, we have to fix the member, the this philosophy, fix the member. Now, when we are fixing, it should have sufficient strength so that whatever load, probable load is going to act or going to come on the member, it will be able to resist without failure. It will be able to resist without failure. Okay, this is strength. Then serviceability. This at the very first day, those who were present, you can say, I told on that day also, serviceability. A member is having sufficient strength, but still that particular member may not be usable. May not be usable. Why? Sorry. It should be comfortable. If in one word I want to say, it should be comfortable. Just like your chart. It is having sufficient strength, it is having sufficient beauty. But if you are not feeling comfort by utilizing that chart, utilizing that pen, then you will not be able to, or you are not going to utilize it. So that is the serviceability. It should give proper performance with respect to serviceability. Okay, then it is coming stability. So this I cannot compare with your pattern chart. This is with respect to structure. It should be stable. It should be stable because of other forces. There should not be any disturbance. So this is the stability. Okay. So this trick is very simple. Now different methods of design. See, I'm writing here: working stress method, ultimate load method, limit state method. Okay. Now this thing you will get in your IS 456 also. Now what is working stress method? In your strength of material, you had studied the elastic stress, also called elastic method. Elastic method means what is done, we know the ultimate stress of the material, and if that ultimate stress is divided by some factor, then we will get that working stress. So that division of by some factor, that by factor is normally called factor of safety. Load is known, that this much of load is acting. Ultimate stress is known, you divide it by factor of safety, that is the working stress. So these two will be utilized. These two will be utilized. If these two is utilized, then it is working stress method. Then comes, what is this? It is said that in this method, permissible value of stress are obtained by dividing the ultimate stress of concrete by yield stress or 0.2. Okay. See, this I have written it, clause B2 IS 456 2000. So these things you will get in code. Code will be permitted in your examination. So no problem. Okay. Now drawbacks. This is important. Concrete is assumed as elastic. Concrete is not at all elastic. Factor of safety is used only with respect to stress, but not with respect to load. So we do not know whether that particular load is coming or not. So this is the difference. Due to non-use of factor of safety with respect to load, uncertainties with respect to calculation of load will not come in practice. Uncertainty. If you consider that load coming is 2 kilonewton per meter square. It may be 2 kilonewton, it may be 2.1 kilometer, it may be 1.95 kilonewton. We do not know. So this is one disadvantage. The method gives uneconomical section. So this method we had utilized when we were students. That means at that time, all the sections were uneconomical. It pays attention to the conditions those arises at the time of collapse. There is a possibility of collapse. So that will not be then ultimate load method. So in ultimate load method, what is done? What is said in previous, we had said that with respect to load, with respect to load, no factor is utilized. Only with respect to stress of the material, factor is utilized. That factor is factor of safety. In ultimate load method, what is done? The ultimate stress, whatever we had got in working stress, whatever we had divided the ultimate stress by factor of safety. In ultimate load method, the factor of safety just 1 minute. Hello. People to me 15 minute পিছত কৰা Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what is done? We are not reducing the ultimate stress of the material. We assume some load. So that's why what is done in this case, we increase the load by a factor which is called load factor. So ultimate load and load factor. Stress is not reduced, load is increased. Please. Now it has also some disadvantages. Advantage of this ultimate load or factored load method is more realistic, as in this method the non-linear behavior of the concrete is used. Ultimate stress we are replacing. In this method, exact margin of safety is achieved because the load we had multiplied with some known factor. Okay, the section designed in this method is thinner and required less reinforcement because we have taken the ultimate stress, not factor of safety, with the help of factor of safety. So okay, then disadvantage. As this section happens to be thinner, there is a possibility of excessive deformation. Say for beam, if thickness happens to be less, there is a possibility of deflection. Because for a simply supported beam subjected to uniformly distributed load, all of you know, you may forget it, that midspan deflection is delta is equal to 5 times W L to the power 4 divided by 384 EI. The I, moment of inertia. Moment of inertia is at denominator. So if cross section is less, then I will be less. Then delta will be more. There will be more deflection. So that is the most disadvantage. Your structure may not be serviceable. The second point affects. Okay. Then no factor of safety is used that I have told you. Then it comes the limit state method. So limit state method is in between elastic method and ultimate load method. So here what is done? All the values are calculated taking the help of random variables, statistical analysis, not the arbitrarily statistical analysis. Because of doing statistical analysis, we will be able to find out some factor. So that will be utilized. So this will be utilized both in concrete as well as in steel. So some factors will be utilized. In elastic method, working stress method, we have divided the ultimate stress by factor of safety. That is also an arbitrary one. Now, in limit state method, ultimate stress we will divide again by a factor. Now, this factor is called partial safety factor. Now, this factor is obtained doing the random analysis. Okay, it is not arbitrary. Similarly, load. Load. In ultimate stress method, we had multiplied, we had increased the load. In limit state method also, we will increase the load. We will increase the load. In ultimate load method, we had multiplied by a factor. That factor was called load factor. In limited method, we are going to multiply it by a factor. Again, this factor is done by statistical analysis. And this factor, partial safety factor. Both are partial safety factor. In the factor with respect to material. And in case of load or force, it is called partial safety factor for load. Nowadays, partial safety factor value of partial safety factors are available in IS 456. Okay. Now, whatever structural design you do, we will utilize the last one, limit state method. This limited method is utilized nowadays. Nowadays, all over the world, wherever you go, any structural design, it is done by limited method. But previous, say, about 20, 25 years back, 30 years back, the design procedure will vary from country to country. Now, design consideration, design system is constant. It is limited method throughout the world. So if you design something at Guwahati, you can send world, they will be able to check. They will be able to check because same procedure they are going to utilize. Okay? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So how you got? Any problem? Anything clarification? Because I want to conclude here this chapter. Next, I will go for something other. So this thing, only the descriptive, nothing, actually there is nothing to understand. There is nothing to understand. You can just read. Only thing, but remember, this is the basic thing. At any time, you will be required in your day-to-day life, not only during the student. That's why I gave this. I am not curtailing any word. I am not giving this as another way. Directly note I gave you. Okay? Okay? What to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to go? Huh? Do you want to leave?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.